It is Rome, the year 1502. The heart of the Renaissance beats with power, beauty, and corruption. The city is alive with anticipation, for tonight is no ordinary celebration. Carriages roll across the cobblestone streets, their wheels echoing against marble walls. Torches flicker along alleyways, and the scent of incense lingers in the air. Every corner of Rome seems to hold its breath. Nobles, bishops, envoys, and ambassadors gather from across Italy. They wear silks, jewels, and velvet, their eyes sharp with calculation. Each guest knows that this wedding will not only bind two people, it will shift the delicate balance of Italian politics. At the center of it all stands Lucrezia Borgia, daughter of Pope Alexander VI. She is both admired and feared. Her family's name drips with stories of intrigue, scandal, and ambition. Whispers about poison, betrayal, and secret affairs follow her like a shadow. Yet tonight, she appears radiant, cloaked in silk and pearls. She's only 22, yet already she has lived a life filled with rumors and tragedy. Across from her stands Alfonso d'Este, heir to the powerful house of Ferrara. Their eyes meet, not with romance, but with recognition of duty. For both bride and groom, this marriage is not about love. It is about power, survival, and the strategies of empire. The Borgias seek to strengthen their grip through alliances. The Este family hopes to secure their place in the ruthless politics of Italy. This wedding is more than a private vow. It is a performance staged for the entire world to see. Rome itself becomes the theatre, and Lucrezia the leading actress. But the grandeur of the ceremony is only the beginning, because what will happen after the vows will make this night one of the most scandalous in history. Inside the palatial halls of the Vatican, magnificence reigns. Tapestries woven with threads of gold shimmer under candlelight. Frescoes painted by master artists depict saints, angels, and martyrs. Silver candelabras line the walls, their flames casting long shadows across marble floors. Every detail has been arranged to impress, to overwhelm, to declare power. Servants glide silently, balancing trays of spiced meats, exotic fruits, and goblets of wine. Musicians tune their lutes and viols, filling the chamber with melodies chosen carefully. The music is not meant for romance. It is meant for politics, to set the tone of alliance and control. Lucrezia Borgia stands among the brilliants, her figure radiant in silk. Her gown, embroidered with pearls, glimmers as she moves. Her hair is braided and crowned with jewels, a symbol of wealth and authority. To the crowd, she appears serene, a perfect image of a Renaissance bride, but behind her calm expression hides a storm of emotions. Anticipation, apprehension, and resignation all flicker in her eyes. Her past marriages, marred by scandal and tragedy, linger like ghosts. She knows that tonight is not her escape from those shadows. It is another test, another stage in the theatre of power. Opposite her stands Alfonso d'Este, solemn and composed. His attire marks his noble lineage, rich fabrics, a sword at his side, a bearing of authority. Their eyes meet across the aisle. There is no passion in their gaze. There is only understanding. Both bride and groom are pawns, positioned on the chessboard of dynasties. Around them, whispers ripple through the crowd. The Vatican officials nod with approval. Ferrara's envoys calculate what this alliance means for their future. The Borgias, infamous for ambition, strengthen their grip with each move. The ceremony proceeds with vows, prayers, and incense. Every gesture, every word, is layered with meaning beyond the sacred. This is not only a marriage, it is a declaration of dominance in the ruthless world of Renaissance Italy. And yet, everyone present knows that the true test of this union will not happen here, before the altar. It will unfold behind closed doors, in the bridal chamber. For the Vatican, this marriage is a triumph of strategy. Pope Alexander VI, Lucrezia's father, sees it as a masterstroke. By tying his daughter to Alfonso d'Este, he secures a powerful ally in northern Italy. It is a move designed to strengthen the Borgias' fragile yet ambitious grip on power. For the Este family, however, the marriage is a gamble. They accept Lucrezia not out of affection, but out of calculation. They know that an alliance with the Borgias brings both prestige and peril. To embrace the Borgias is to embrace scandal, whispers, and danger. Yet in the ruthless politics of Renaissance Italy, risk often walked hand in hand with survival. The Borgias, after all, are both admired and despised. They are envied for their influence, feared for their ruthlessness, and hated for their excess. Scandal trails them like a shadow, but so does success. For the court of Ferrara, this marriage is both an opportunity and a warning. As the vows echo through the chapel, tension hangs heavy in the air. The prayers of the priests mingle with the murmurs of the audience. Everyone knows this wedding is not merely spiritual, it is political theatre of the highest order. Rome itself seems to pause as the bells toll, announcing the union. Citizens gather outside to cheer, though many whisper their doubts. Behind the smiles, the city holds its breath, because the ceremony is only the surface. The real test of the alliance will not be proven by vows or signatures. It will be decided in the most intimate of spaces, the bedchamber. And there, politics will demand a proof, as scandalous as it is humiliating. The ceremony may have ended at the altar, but the true trial was only beginning. For the Este family, words and blessings were not enough. They demanded undeniable proof of the marriage's consummation. Not once, but 3 times. The union had to be sealed under the watchful eyes of witnesses. A sacred act, stripped of intimacy, was about to be turned into performance. The bridal chamber was prepared with cold precision. Silk sheets, perfumed air, and flickering candles disguised its darker purpose. It was not a place of love, it was a stage. Lucrezia entered with regal composure. Her gown whispered against the floor as she crossed the room. Every step masked the storm of dread twisting inside her. She knew what was expected. She knew what she could not refuse. Behind her came Alfonso d'Este, equally bound by duty. His role tonight was not husband, but demonstrator. His virility was to be proven, displayed, judged. Around them stood witnesses, priests, courtiers, and family envoys. Eyes that should have turned away did not. They watched. They listened. They waited for proof. The consummation unfolded not as an act of love, but as ritualized humiliation. And when it was finished, it had to be repeated. Once, twice, 3 times in total, until all doubt was extinguished. What should have been private became grotesque spectacle. For Lucrezia, it was an ordeal meant to shame her. For Alfonso, it was a burden meant to test him. Together, they endured, their bodies turned into tools of politics, and as the witnesses dispersed, whispers already began to spread beyond the chamber walls. The chamber was meant to strip Lucrezia of dignity. It was designed to prove that she was nothing more than a vessel for alliance. Every repetition of the act reduced intimacy into transaction. Every witness turned her suffering into gossip. What was sacred had been violated. What was private had been consumed by politics. Yet, in that moment of humiliation, Lucrezia revealed her strength. She did not collapse under shame. She did not resist in despair. She endured. Her silence became defiance. Her composure became armor. What was meant to destroy her spirit instead displayed her resilience. Alfonso, too, carried his burden. His body was tested, judged, and reduced to performance. But unlike Lucrezia, his trial ended with validation. The witnesses departed, satisfied. The Este family had their proof. The Borgias had secured their alliance. For everyone else, the scandal was entertainment. For Lucrezia, it was survival. And survival, in the ruthless world of Renaissance Italy, was power in itself. She walked out of the chamber not as a broken bride. She walked out as a woman who had endured the unendurable. The humiliation could not erase her resolve. It only sharpened it. Outside the chamber, the palace was already buzzing. Servants whispered in corners, retelling what they had heard. Courtiers exchanged knowing glances, eager to embellish the scandal. The act meant to silence rumours, only fueled them further. Proof had been demanded, and proof had been given. But in Rome, proof was never enough. Whispers spread through the corridors of power. Some mocked Alfonso for submitting to such a spectacle. Others pitied Lucrezia for being forced into public humiliation, but most simply revelled in the gossip. The Borgias, once again, had given Rome a story to feast on. From Ferrara to the Vatican, tongues wagged about the threefold consummation. Some claimed it proved strength. Others said it revealed weakness, but all agreed it was unforgettable. Meanwhile, the political goal had been achieved. The Este family could not deny the marriage. The Borgias had secured their alliance, and for now, scandal had been transformed into strategy. Yet the echoes of that night would follow Lucrezia for the rest of her life. The whispers would cling to her name, shaping how history remembered her. In the months after the scandalous wedding night, Lucrezia's role began to shift. No longer was she only the daughter of a powerful pope. She was now the Duchess of Ferrara. At first, many saw her as nothing more than a pawn, a woman traded in the game of politics, valuable only for her family name. But Lucrezia refused to remain in that role. She learned quickly how to navigate the court of Ferrara. She mastered diplomacy, balancing the demands of Rome with the pride of Ferrara's nobles. She sponsored artists, poets, and musicians, filling the court with culture and prestige. Through patronage, she created loyalty. Through charm, she softened enemies into allies. Through intelligence, she built her own influence. Her role as wife and duchess was no longer just symbolic. It became active, powerful, and undeniable. Motherhood strengthened her position even further. Her children tied her permanently to Ferrara's future. Whispers of scandal still followed her, but they no longer defined her. Instead, people began to see a woman who could endure humiliation and still rise. Lucrezia had transformed herself, from pawn to player, from symbol to strategist, from victim of politics to a wielder of it. Her survival became her triumph. The memory of that wedding night never faded. For Rome, it was a scandal to gossip about for years. For Ferrara, it was a mark of alliance, sealed in the most humiliating way. And for Lucrezia, it was a shadow she could never fully escape. Yet history does not remember her only for the humiliation. It remembers her resilience. She endured the unendurable and emerged stronger. She transformed from a pawn of papal ambition into a duchess of real power. She shaped Ferrara's court with art, diplomacy, and culture. She became a mother whose children would secure dynastic futures. The scandal did not destroy her, it forged her. Her story reveals the cruel intersection of politics and intimacy in Renaissance Italy. It shows how women were often reduced to tools in the games of men. But it also shows how one woman resisted that role, not with rebellion, but with endurance. Lucrezia Borgia remains a symbol of scandal, survival, and strength. Her legacy is not only that of a notorious knight, it is the legacy of a woman who lived through shame and turned it into power.